Hello students, today we'll discuss about section A, chapter 6, chapter name is law. And today's our topic is briefly describe the theories of law. And another topic is discuss the sources of law. First we'll discuss about theories of law. That first point is the analytical school, then second is the historical school, third point is comparative school of law, fourth point is the sociological school, fifth point is the philosophical and the Marxian school of law. And sixth point is natural law theory. That first point is the analytical school. This school holds that law is the command of the sovereign. Law is a positive law because it is the creation of human superior, that sovereign. That Hobbes, Bentham and Austin have been the main exponent of this view of law. Then second point is the historical school. Against the analytical school, the historical school of law holds that people themselves are the lawmakers. Law comes out from the habits, traditions and customs of the people. The people obey it because of this fact and not because it is backed by the force of the state. Then third point is comparative school of law. The comparative school of law seeks to analyze rules of law by comparing the systems of law in corporation in various parts of the world. Fourth point is the sociological school. The sociological school of law seeks to conceptualize law in terms of rules of social living according to Digges and other supporters of this school. Law is neither really a command of the sovereign nor really made by unorganized body of man. And fifth point is the philosophical and the Marxian schools of law. Beside the above three main schools of law, there are some others like the philosophical school and the Marxian school of law. The former is concerned little with the actual and present law of society. Its main concern is to develop the idea of justice as the ethical principle and on its basis to create an ideal system of law for the human society. It conceives of law as the body of abstract ethical principles of justice. The latter, that is, the Marxian school of law holds that in a state, law reflects the will and interest of the ruling class. Now, sixth point is natural law theory. The theory of natural law rests upon the belief and there are inherent laws that are common to all societies because these are derived from natural universal reason. Now, second topic is discuss the sources of law. That first point is customs and uses. Then second point is religion and morality. Third point is legislation, statutes and statutory law. Fourth point is delegated legislation. Fifth point is judicial decisions. Sixth point is equity. Seventh point is scientific commentators. Now, first point is custom and uses. Custom and uses has been one of the oldest sources of law in primitive societies. Social relations give rise to several uses, traditions, and customs The social institutions began working on the basis of established and accepted customs. Gradually, the state emerged as the organized political institution of the people, having the responsibility to maintain peace, law, and order. And naturally, it also began acting by making and enforcing rules based upon customs and traditions. In fact, most of the laws had their birth when the state began converting the customs into authoritative and binding rules and values. Custom has been included a rich source of law. Now, second point is religion and morality. Religion and religious codes appear naturally in every society when human being begins observing, enjoying, and fearing natural forces. These were accepted as superior heavenly forces, gods and goddess and worship. The rules of morality also appear in society. The religious and moral codes of a society provided to the state the necessary materials for regulating the action of the people. The state converted several moral and religious rules into its laws. Hence, religious and morality have also been important sources of law. Now, third point is legislation, statutes, and statutory law. Legislation has emerged as the chief source of law. Traditionally, the state depended upon custom and the decrees of the king for regulating the behavior of the people. Later on, the legislature emerged as an organ of the government engaged in transforming the customary rules into definite and enacted rules of behavior in society. The king, as the sovereign, started giving these his approval. Gradually, legislation becomes the chief source of lawmaking, and later on, the legislature got recognitions as the legal sovereign, that is, lawmaking organs of the state. Now, fourth point is delegated legislation. Further, because of several pressing reasons like paucity of time, lack of expertise, and increased demand of lawmaking, the legislature of every state has been delegating some part of its lawmaking powers to the executive. The executive has been making laws under this system, and it has came to be known as delegated legislation. Now, fifth point is judicial decisions. In contemporary times, judicial decisions have also emerged as an important source of law. It is the responsibility of the courts to interpret and apply a law to specific cases. Only the judicial decisions given by the apex court or the courts which stand recognized as the courts of record like the Supreme Court and High Courts of India are recognized and used as laws proper. Now, sixth point is equity. Equity means fairness and sense of justice. It is also a source of law for deciding cases. The judges interpret and apply laws to the specific cases. Now, seventh point is scientific common theories. The works of eminent jurists include scientific commentaries on the Constitution and the laws of the land. These are used by the courts for determining the meaning of law, and their scientific commentaries have helped the process of development of law, and hence these have been a source of law.